See, in that case, the only role you could play would be like a tree or something like that. But if you want to really be a part of Krishna's pastimes, it's like you have to get up to speed, you know, and develop your own talents and your own gifts that Krishna has given you. So we're going to be doing that in India, and we're going to seek out some really good artists and study with them, and try to learn Vedic music, Vedic dance, drama, how to speak nicely, how to present nicely Krishna's pastimes, especially the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are relatively unknown. Krishna's pastimes are very well known in India, but very few people actually understand Lord Chaitanya. Now, after we, once we get deeper into Nectar of Devotion, it's time to take a little break again. One of the things I want to do is start talking about Lord Chaitanya. I mean, we did a series on the Panchatattva last year, but we didn't really go very deep into the subject. And I want to go deeply into the subject so everyone will understand who is Lord Chaitanya, who is Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas, who are their prominent devotees, what were their relationships, what were their pastimes. This is very important because we are situated in their lineage. So after Janmashtami, and you know, once we get a little deeper into Nectar of Devotion, when we take a break, then we'll go into those pastimes. I want to start working on that subject matter. There's so many things to learn. Huh? This Vedic civilization is just endless. This is unlimited. You know? They have a whole lifetime of reading, study, practices, and so on. You don't ever reach the end of it. I'm still learning. I hope I keep learning. I don't ever want to stop learning. That's life. To live is to learn and to serve and love. You know, these are the things that everyone can do, must do, to become actually enlightened. And we can serve all the way up to the end of life. You know, even Prabhupada was translating until just a few weeks before his death. You know, so similarly, we can keep on preaching, we can keep on serving like this. We don't have to become useless when we get old. In fact, the elder devotees are very much cherished because of their experience and their accumulated wisdom from many years of practice. So this is the best way to grow old gracefully as a devotee of the Lord. Then you know, even our qualities as a senior person are appreciated, even if sometimes we forget things. So I guess it's time to ask for questions. What time is it?
1:42.
Oh boy, I'll say.
A question from Uddhava. Dear Babaji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. What instrument does Radha mainly play?
The sarangi.
Oh.
The sarangi is a very beautiful bowed instrument. And the interesting thing about the sarangi is that it has a little resonating chamber on the bottom. First of all, it has 4 main strings, which are made from gut, and so that they're thick and they have a very rich tone. And then it has also sympathetic strings, which are made from metal, and they are tuned to the scale of whatever you're playing, whatever raga you're playing. And then as you hit the notes on the main string, the sympathetic strings vibrate and they add harmonics. It's very, very beautiful. And then, well, there's more. The bridge sits on a box, a resonating box, which is basically square or rectangular. And that is covered with skin and then the bridge sits on top of that, and the strings go through the bridge. So it's similar to a banjo, in other words. It has a resonating chamber and skin on top of it, so that the vibrations of the strings go through the bridge and into the skin and resonate in the chamber below. But this gives it like a very crying kind of sound. Right? Actually, you hear about the popular Indian female vocalists. They all sound kind of like a sarangi. They borrow very much from that, like Lata Mangeshkar.
Yeah.
You know, she has that kind of it cuts right through everything, you know. And this comes from the tone of the sarangi. The sarangi had a very crying kind of female tone to it, you know. And depending on how you play it, the bow and the pressure and all of that, you can get all these different sounds out of it. It's a really cool instrument, but it's difficult to play because it has no frets.
Yeah.
You really have to practice a lot to be able to play it nicely. But a good player, like who's that good player? That guy, Raman something. Oh, it's been too long since I looked at it. But anyway, there's some really good players. If you look around on the Indian music sites, I'm sure you can find some. Sarangi, S-A-R-A-N-G-I, and listen to some of the really good players, and it's so expressive. It's really wonderful. And of course, sarangi and flute. Oh, that's Radha Kṛṣṇa.
Let's see. Continuation from Uddhava. Same question for Caitanya.
What instrument does he play?
Yes. Yeah, also the same question for Lord Caitanya, please.
He doesn't play. Well, maybe he plays. Yeah, no, what are those called? They're not kartals, but those wooden things. Yeah, they're North Indian or Bengali instrument. They're like little, it's like a tambourine, like the sides of a tambourine.
Yeah.
The wooden, like a piece of wood with the little bells in it. And then you hold them like this. There's a bottom and a top one. The bottom one has a hole for your thumb, and the top one has a hole for your 3 fingers. And you play them like this. Yeah. There's also kind of finger cymbals like that, right? But those are zils. Those are more like Persian or something like that. Yeah. But these wooden things, I forget what they call it. But he may have played those. Actually, I haven't found any mention in Caitanya-caritāmṛta of his playing any instruments at all.
Yes, I think in the pictures we see probably.
Pictures, yeah, but who knows if that's bona fide?
Yeah.
I don't know. But in the scriptures, it says that his chief disciples were expert musicians, especially Mukunda. Mukunda was a very, very expert singer, and he could sing. He said his voice was so sweet that when he sang the devotional songs, that even the stone-like hearts would melt. No one could hear his singing without becoming, their eyes would fill with tears and they would become full of bhakti, full of devotion. Lord Chaitanya's devotees would make such beautiful music, and then he would simply dance. And who can imagine what his dancing was like? I mean, the descriptions are there in the scriptures, but they're not technical descriptions. They're not so that you would be able to reconstruct his dancing. But basically, his dancing was so powerful and so affecting that everyone who saw it would want to become a devotee. And also his chanting. He would chant very loudly. It says his voice was like a lion. He said there were 3 things about him that were. His voice was like a lion, his shoulders were like a lion, and his waist was slim like a lion. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya was so strikingly beautiful that everybody who saw him was so attracted. And then he would begin his dancing and chanting. and people were just mesmerized. So when he would do this dancing and chanting along with all his close devotees, imagine, I mean, Lord Nityananda was there, and all the devotees were Nitya Siddhas. It's described all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's close devotees were directly from the spiritual world. They weren't ordinary people like us. They were, perfectly self-realized, eternal residents of the spiritual world, coming down to this planet to demonstrate this is love of Krishna. This is love of God.
Also from Uddhava Babaji, in which scripture are the 64 Vedic arts explained?
Nectar of devotion.